Me, 25, gender studies degree, work in nonprofit. Spend most of my time advocating for women's representation in leadership, which is important work, don't get me wrong. But I've developed some opinions, mainly that men are overvalued in society, that masculine jobs are given more respect than they deserve, that the work men do could easily be done by anyone. My dad's a lineman for the electric company, has been for 28 years, works on power lines, transmission towers, all that. He's proud of it in that quiet dad way. Never brags, but you can tell it matters to him. At Thanksgiving dinner, he mentions he's getting older, getting harder to climb the poles like I used to. He's 52, looks older. Face weathered, hands scarred, moves stiff. My mom touches his shoulder. Maybe it's time to think about retirement. He shakes his head. Can't retire yet. Got 5 more years until full pension. I jump in. Can't help myself. Maybe it's time to consider that your job isn't as essential as you think. Table goes quiet. What do you mean? Dad asks, not confrontational, just confused. I mean, power companies act like linemen are these irreplaceable heroes. But it's just maintaining infrastructure. Anyone could do it with the right training. My younger sister kicks me under the table. Dad just nods slowly. You think so? I think we mythologize male-dominated professions. Make them seem harder than they are to justify pay gaps. Mom looks uncomfortable. Dad just cuts his turkey. Interesting perspective. That's it. Un no argument, no defensiveness. Which somehow makes me feel worse than if he'd gotten mad. Later that night, my sister corners me in the kitchen. What the hell was that? What? Telling Dad his job isn't important? I didn't say it wasn't important. I said it's not as hard as everyone pretends. She stares at me. Have you ever seen him work? I've seen pictures. That's not the same thing. I don't need to do a job to understand its difficulty. That's exactly what you need to do. Roll my eyes. I'm not climbing a power pole to make a point. Why not? You got opinions about it. That's different. Ow. Don't have a good answer. Go home that night annoyed. Post about it on Twitter. Why do we treat utility workers like heroes for doing basic maintenance? Society overvalues masculine labor while ignoring care work. Get a bunch of likes. Feel validated. 2 days later, Dad calls. Hey, sweetie, got a proposition for you. What's up? You said anyone could do my job with the right training. Yeah. Want to prove it? Pause. What do you mean? Come shadow me for a week. Full days, see what I do. I have work. Take vacation days. Unless you're not that confident in your theory. He's not being mean, but it's definitely a challenge. Ooh, fine. When? Next week. I'll clear it with my supervisor. You already talked to them? Had a feeling you'd say yes. Damn it. He knows me too well. Spend the weekend preparing. Research what linemen do. Looks straightforward on paper. Install and repair electrical lines. Work on poles and towers. Respond to outages. How hard can it be? Post about it. Taking on the challenge. We'll be shadowing electrical line work for a week to demonstrate that gendered job segregation is about gatekeeping, not actual difficulty. Comments flood in. Yes. Show them. Can't wait for you to prove these DD bros wrong. Electrical work is easy. They just make it seem hard. Feel confident. Monday morning, 4:30 a.m. My alarm goes off. 4:30 in the morning. Dad's picking me up at 5. This is already terrible. Put on the clothes he told me to. Jeans, long sleeve shirt, boots. He arrives exactly at 5. Hand me a coffee. You're gonna need this. We drive 45 minutes to the yard. Sun's not even up yet. Meet his crew. 5 other guys, all Dad's age or older. They're polite, but I can see the skepticism. This is my daughter. She's learning about the job. Guy named Ray nods. What's your background? I have a degree in gender studies. Awkward silence. Another guy, Carlos, grins. That's gonna be real useful up a pole. Everyone laughs. Not meanly, just matter of fact. We load into the trucks. Equipment is everywhere. Tools I don't recognize. Huge spools of wire. Safety gear that looks medieval. Dad, hand me a hard hat and safety vest. You'll mostly observe today. Can't have you doing actual work without certification. So I'm just watching for now, but you'll see what's involved. First call is a damaged line in a residential area. Storm knocked a branch into it last night. Power's out for 6 houses. We arrive and I see the pole. It's tall, like really tall, 35 feet at least. The line is dangling, sparking occasionally. Dad and Ray start gearing up. They put on these climbing belts with hooks, thick rubber gloves that go past their elbows, face shields. The works? That line's still hot, Ray says. We need to ground it before approaching. They work for 20 minutes just setting up safety protocols. Then Dad starts climbing. He's 52 with a bad back, but he goes up that pole like it's nothing. Hooks his belt, pulls himself up, repositions, repeat. In 5 minutes, he's at the top, working with tools while holding himself in place with just the belt. One wrong move, and he falls 35 feet. Watch him work for 2 hours, cutting away the damaged section, splicing in new wire, testing everything, all while suspended in the air. Come down drenched in sweat despite it being 50 degrees. That's one call, he says. How many do you usually do? Depends on the day. Anywhere from 3 to 10 inch. Oh, second call is a transformer that needs replacing. These things are huge, easily 300 pounds. Takes 4 of them to lift it onto the truck. They drive to a pole in a commercial area. Need to swap out the old transformer with a new one. This involves killing power to several businesses, working with extremely high voltage, and hoisting this massive piece of equipment 30 feet in the air. Takes 3 hours. Watch Dad climb up and down 6 times, each time carrying different tools, each time hooking safety lines, each time working with equipment that could kill him instantly if he makes a mistake. By lunch, I'm exhausted and I haven't done anything. Just standing around watching is tiring. We eat in the truck. Dad's quiet, eating his sandwich. Question so far? He asks. It's more complex than I thought. He nods. Most things are. Afternoon is a routine maintenance call. Checking lines in a rural area, which means driving to the middle of nowhere. Then Dad climbs poles to visually inspect them. 6 poles. 6 climbs. He's moving slower now. See him wincing when he thinks no one's looking. On the last pole, his hand slips. He catches himself, but for a second my heart stops. He's 30 feet up. No net. Just his safety belt between him and the ground. Comes down slowly. You okay? I ask. He flexes his hand. Just cramping. Happens sometimes. Maybe you should stop. Got 2 more hours in the day. Dad, I'm fine. But he's not fine. Can see it in how carefully he moves. We finish the day at 6 p.m. 13 hours. Dad's been on his feet, climbing, lifting, working with live electricity for 13 hours. Drop me off at home. See you tomorrow, 5 a.m. Barely have energy to shower. Fall asleep at 8 p.m. Tuesday starts the same. 4:30 a.m. Everything hurts, and I did nothing yesterday. Can't imagine how Dad feels. Today's first call is an emergency. Car hit a pole overnight. Driver fled. Pole is cracked. Lines are down. When we arrive, cop is there redirecting traffic. Fire department is on standby. Lines are on the ground, live, sparking. Dad and crew approach slowly. They have these long tools for handling live wires. Hot sticks, they call them. Watching them work is like watching a bomb disposal. Every movement careful, deliberate. One mistake and someone dies. Either them or a civilian who gets too close. A guy walks up while they're working, angry, holding phone. How long is this going to take? I work from home. I need internet. Dad, covered in sweat, dealing with 7,200 volts. About 2 hours. 2 hours? That's unacceptable. Sir, the pole is split in half. So, just fix it faster. Ray steps in. We're working as fast as safely possible. Well, it's not fast enough. This is incompetent. The guy storms off. Dad just goes back to work. Later I ask, does that happen a lot? What? People being jerks when you're literally saving their power. He shrugs. People don't think about where electricity comes from. They just flip a switch and expect it to work. When it doesn't, they're mad. But they don't see the guys who drove out at 2 a.m. in a storm to fix it. Do you get hazard pay at least? Some. But it's not about the money. Then what's it about? He thinks while securing a wire. Someone's got to do it. If we don't, people don't have power. Hospitals, homes, schools, everything. So we do it. Simple as that. To him, it's not hero work. It's just work that needs doing. Wednesday is a maintenance day. Climbing poles to replace worn insulators. 12 poles scheduled. Watch Dad go up and down, up and down. His hands are shaking by pole 8. Carlos notices too. Let me take the next few. Dad doesn't argue. Just nods. That's when I realize how much this is taking out of him. He's not superhuman. He's just pushing through. During break, Ray comes over to me. Your old man's one of the best. Yeah. Best lineman I've worked with in 30 years. Could have made supervisor years ago. Why didn't he? Ray looks at Dad across the yard. Said he liked the work. Didn't want a desk job. So he stayed up the poles. Feels something twist in my chest. Pride mixed with guilt. Later that day, transformer catches fire. Emergency call. We race there, truck lights flashing. Small fire, contained, but needs immediate attention. Dad doesn't hesitate. Gears up and climbs while it's still smoking. From the ground, I'm panicking. Is that safe? Carlos, no. But it needs doing. What if he gets hurt? Then we call an ambulance. That's it. That's the job. Watch my father work on smoking equipment 40 feet in the air. Realize he does this. Has done this for almost 3 decades. Every day, risking his life. So people can turn on their lights. So I can charge my phone and write Twitter threads about how his job isn't special. Thursday, ice storm rolled in overnight. Roads are terrible. Dad picks me up anyway. Maybe we should cancel, I suggest. Lines don't take days off. Today is the worst. Multiple calls from the storm. Trees on lines, poles damaged, transformers blown. We're out for 15 hours. Dad climbs in freezing rain. Metal poles are slippery. Every movement is more dangerous. See him lose footing once. Catches himself. Keeps working. No implant. No hosetastion. By the end of the day, I'm crying in the truck. Not because I'm sad. Because I'm overwhelmed. By the danger. By the dedication. By how completely I misunderstood everything. Dad notices but doesn't comment. Just hands me his thermos of coffee. We sit in silence. Friday, last day. Major outage from yesterday's storm. Whole neighborhood is dark. We're one of 4 crews responding. Spend the entire day rebuilding a section of line. Heavy equipment, multiple poles, complex wiring. Watch these men work together like a machine. No ego, no sowating. Just efficient, skilled labor. By the end, they've restored power to 200 homes. No applause, no recognition. Just the hum of electricity flowing again. Pack up the truck as the sun sets. Dad's face is gray with exhaustion. That's a week, he says. How was it? Can't find words. Just shake my head. He understands. Drives me home in silence. Before I get out, he speaks. I don't need you to think I'm a hero, but I do need you to understand that this work matters, that it's skilled and dangerous and necessary, and that the men who do it aren't doing it for glory. We're doing it because someone has to. Tears streaming down my face now. I'm sorry. For what? For what I said at Thanksgiving. For all the times I dismissed what you do. For thinking it was just maintenance. He reaches over, squeezes my shoulder. You didn't know. Now you do. That's all I wanted. Spend the weekend in bed. Processing everything. My Twitter post from before the week has blown up. People asking for updates. How's it going? Bet she quit day 1. Can't wait to hear how easy it was. Sit down to write the update. Stare at the screen for an hour. Finally type. I spent a week shadowing electrical line work. I was completely wrong. This thread is my apology. Spend 3 hours writing it. Detail everything. The heights, the danger, the skill, the dedication. The fact that my dad has done this for 28 years. That his body is breaking down from it. That he still shows up. Because people need power. End with. I've spent years advocating for recognition of undervalued labor, but I failed to recognize the labor right in front of me. The men doing dangerous infrastructure work aren't overvalued. They're invisible. We don't think about them until the lights go out. Then we complain it's taking too long to fix. These men risk their lives in storms while we're safe inside. They destroy their bodies over decades, so society functions. That's not gatekeeping. That's sacrifice. And I'm sorry I couldn't see it until I tried to walk in their boots. Dad, if you're reading this, thank you for everything you've done, for letting me see it, for not saying, I told you so even though you could. You were right. Men like you matter, more than I ever understood. Hit post. Response is immediate and divided. This is beautiful growth. You betrayed feminism. Finally, some honesty. So you're saying women can't do this work? She's not saying that. Learn to read. The discourse rages. But this time I don't engage. Because it's not about the discourse anymore. It's about my dad climbing that pole in the ice storm. It's about Ray's 30 years of service. It's about Carlos taking extra poles when dad was hurting. It's about the quiet competence and courage of men I dismissed. Monday, dad calls. Saw your post. Oh God, are you mad? Why would I be mad? I basically told the internet I was an idiot. He laughs. Well, I wasn't going to say it. Pause. You okay? Voice breaks. I'm proud of you. Crying again. For what? For being willing to admit you were wrong. Not everyone can do that. Learned it from you. How so? You didn't gloat. Didn't say I told you so. Just let me see for myself. That's called parenting. That's called being a good man. He's quiet. Then, love you, kiddo. Love you too, Dad. Over the next month, my whole perspective shifts. Start noticing the men doing invisible work. Garbage collectors at 5 a.m. Roofers in summer heat. Plumbers crawling under houses. Welders breathing fumes. Miners underground. Commercial fishermen at sea. All the jobs that break bodies. All the jobs society needs but doesn't celebrate. All the jobs mostly done by men. Not because of gatekeeping, but because they're brutal, and someone has to do them. Start writing about it. Different tone than before. Less academic theory. More on-the-ground reality. Interview workers instead of just citing studies. Listen to their stories. Their injuries, their pride, their frustrations. One garbage collector tells me, my daughter's embarrassed to tell people what I do, but I've never missed a day. Never missed her school events. Paid for her college. That comes from this shameful job. Electrician says, people tell me to get a real education. I did 4 years of apprenticeship. I know things that would take you decades to learn. But because I don't have a degree, I'm looked down on. Miner shares. Lost 3 friends in my 20 years underground. But we keep going because the country needs coal. Even the people protesting coal use electricity. Someone's got to dig it up. Each story reinforces what I learned with Dad. These jobs matter. The men doing them matter. And dismissing them as masculine posturing was ignorant. My feminist friends are divided. Some think I've lost the plot. You're centering men now. What about women's struggles? This is internalized misogyny. Others get it. This is intersectional feminism. Recognizing that class and gender intersect. Working class men are oppressed too, just differently. Stop caring about the labels. Just care about the truth. 6 months later, Father's Day. Get Dad a card. Right inside, thank you for showing me what I couldn't see from my comfortable office. Thank you for doing dangerous work so I could have a safe life. Thank you for not giving up on me when I dismissed you. You're my hero, not because you climb poles, but because you do it with humility and grace. Love you forever. Give it to him at family dinner. He reads it. Eyes get watery. Doesn't say anything. Just hugs me long and hard. Mom's crying too. What did it say? My sister asks. Dad just shakes his head. Between us. But he keeps the card in his wallet. I know because I see it there months later. Worn at the edges from being taken out and read. That's when I know I did something right. Start volunteering with a trade organization. Helping connect young people to apprenticeships. Electric, plumbing, carpentry, all of it. Talk to young women about opportunities in these fields, but honest about what they entail. Not, it's easy, anyone can do it, but it's hard, and here's how to prepare. Some choose to pursue it. Others don't. Both are valid. The point is informed choice, not ideology. One girl, 19, asks me, "Is it true you did electrical work?" I shadowed it for a week. And hardest thing I've ever done. But you still think women can do it? I think some women can, with proper training and willingness to sacrifice. Same as men. Not everyone is cut out for it. But those who are shouldn't be discouraged. She nods thoughtfully. I want to try. Then try. But know what you're getting into. I will. Year later, she sent me a photo. Her in climbing gear, up a pole, huge smile. First successful climb in apprenticeship. Show Dad. He grins. She's got the bug. What bug? The feeling when you restore power and lights come back on. When you've done something that matters. That bug. Did you feel it? Think back to watching that neighborhood light up. After that 15-hour day. The satisfaction on the crew's faces. Yeah, I felt it. Then you understand. I do understand. Finally. Be me. 2 years after that Thanksgiving. Different person than I was. Still feminist. Still believe in equality. But with more nuance. More respect for different kinds of work. More understanding that some jobs are legitimately harder. And that's okay to acknowledge. Dad's retirement party is next month. He made it to 30 years. Full pension. Body barely held together. But he did it. Whole crew is coming. They asked me to speak. Been working on the speech for weeks. Trying to capture what he and his colleagues mean. Not just to their families, but to society. To everyone who takes electricity for granted. Keep coming back to one image. Dad up that pole in the ice storm. Frozen, exhausted, scared. But staying up there. Finishing the job. Because people needed power. That's not toxic masculinity. That's not patriarchy. That's just a man doing what needs to be done. Because someone has to. And he was willing. That matters. He matters. They all matter. Took me 25 years to see it. Better late than never. MFW, I spent years saying men's work was overvalued. MFW, my dad, risked his life for 28 years while I wrote think pieces. MFW, I watched him nearly fall and realized what sacrifice actually means. MFW, I finally understood that some jobs are genuinely hard and dangerous. MFW, the men doing them aren't asking for glory, just recognition. MFW, I had to climb down from my ideological tower to see the men holding it up, still believe in equality. Just redefine what that means. It means respecting all work, including the work that breaks you, especially that work. Thanks, Dad, for everything, but mostly for letting me learn the hard way and still loving me after.